G'day Gooners, welcome to the Arsenal Weekly Recap. This week for the Arsenal. The week started off with the final World Cup qualification matches, first highlighted by the match between Sweden and Poland, where a thrilling game finished 3-2 off a goal from Gyökeres in the dying minutes. His goal initially came from a cutback along the baseline, and after 3 attempts on goal and several bounces in the box, Poland were unable to clear their lines, and ultimately Gyökeres was able to outmuscle his defender and score to book their ticket to the World Cup. A couple of amazing moments with this picture here as Gyökeres posed with the rest of the Swedish fans, and this video of them chanting for their Swedish hero. Well deserved for his performances for the Swedish international side, as his performances were consistently class and scoring 4 goals, including a hat-trick prior during the final qualification matches. Italy versus Bosnia and Herzegovina saw Calafiori's side suffer a shocking loss on penalties, going down 4-1. An early red card against Bastoni set the side back immensely and couldn't hold on to their early 1-0 lead. The penalty taking from the side was also a horror show. Mikel Arteta commentating on the Italians failing to qualify to the World Cup for the 3rd time in a row. Not good for football. Finally, Norgard's Denmark also failed to reach the World Cup after going down on penalties 3-1 against Czechia. A close match as both sides scored in extra time, ending the game 2-2, but ultimately could not compete from the spot kicks. International friendlies rounded out the break, with Germany defeating Ghana 2-1. Havertz opened the scoring, taking a well-placed penalty. Ben White started for England in their friendly against Japan, but Mitoma's goal was a difference as the match ended 1-0. Spain and Egypt settled for a tie, with Mosquera and Raya getting starting nods and Zubimendi coming on briefly. Finally, Martinelli's Brazil finished their friendlies with a 3-1 win against Croatia, Martinelli scoring late to put the game to bed. To the youth gunners, where the under-21s played to qualify for the under-21s Euros against Moldova. A fantastic performance from both Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly saw the English winning in dominant 4-1 fashion, the two combining for both of Nwaneri's goals. The first came from a lovely turn after receiving the ball from Lewis Skelly, driving the ball into the box and taking a shot, which was saved but rebounded into the waiting arms of Nwaneri, who slots in a comfortable goal. The second also starts with Lewis Skelly picking up a loose ball deep in Moldova's half, eventually finding Nwaneri free in the box, who finesses it into the bottom corner. Max Staumann also featured internationally, playing for the under-19s against Portugal, who scored in a 6-0 win. His goal was a brilliant piece of individual play, turning the defender upon receiving the ball in his own half and running the length of the pitch towards the edge of the Portuguese box and slotting the goal in. This international break really reminded us of how talented our young gunners are and how exciting our future is looking. The Arsenal women's squad was able to squeak through to the Champions League semi-finals, losing on the night to Chelsea 1-0 but qualifying on a 3-2 aggregate. With Manchester United losing as well, we are yet again the only WSL team left in the bracket. We will be facing Lyon in the semi-finals, and the opposite side will see the Giants Barcelona take on Bayern Munich. Mikel Arteta was awarded the Premier League Manager of the Month. Arsenal was the only team to win all Premier League games in March. This is also the 8th time our manager has won this award, equaling Martin O'Neill, Harry Redknapp. Gabriel Jesus celebrated his birthday on April 3rd. He also shared a couple of pictures as he enjoyed his 29th birthday. Happy birthday! On to FA Cup news, where the week ended extremely poorly, with the men's side losing to Southampton in the quarterfinals 2-1. The first goal was scored by Southampton, caused by a horror mistake by White, who misjudges a cross into the box, and Ross Stewart had acres of space and time to slot it past Kepa. Our goal came in the middle of the second half, that was started by a brilliant incisive pass by Gabriel to the run of Havertz, who worked his way towards the baseline and picked out Gyökeres with a cutback, who calmly passed it into the net. Frustratingly, Southampton scored this match winner late in the 85th minute as they found some space on the right wing, working their way into the box, and Shea Charles found himself with loads of space to slot their second goal. The Women's also suffered a similar fate, going out of the FA Cup against Brighton 2-0. Haley was found running into the box and, despite being heavily contested, was able to conjure up a brilliant finish. The second came off a corner, with Hayes climbing high to produce a looping header that evades the stretching arms of Van Domselaar. Extremely disappointing to bounce out of both tournaments. For our next features, the men will be playing midweek on April 8th against Sporting away at Lisbon, continuing our campaign in the Champions League, and the women will be enjoying a break before returning to action against either Lyon in the Champions League or Aston Villa in the WSL on April 26th. Thank you for watching and listening to this week's recap. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment on what you thought about this video or what other content you'd like to see. Until next time, have a great week.